Well, y'all, I just finished cleaning out that oil pan. You know, my coffee's brewing. I still haven't had it yet. But look at how dark and nasty this is, okay? If there was such a thing as smell-o-vision, you would be able to smell how danky this oil is. Because this is standard oil it's numerous hundreds of miles over past its due date. Okay, the heat starts to wear down the oil and all this stuff, and it's no good. So I had to get out another old oil container that has got old oil in it to finish draining my pan, and I just wanted to show you, look, okay? They're gonna sell you stuff that says BS like this, and they're gonna sell you stuff that says BS like this. Well, guess what? You know, I've seen that some of these dealerships are selling brand new cars, and they're telling you you only need to get your oil changed every 10,000 miles. Well, guess what? That is going to get you past your warranty date, is what that's going to do, and then you're on your own, kiddos. Okay? I remember one time Gregory bought a brand new Suburban, and he was gloating, and he was so gleeful over the fact that he put like 45,000 miles on it, on the original oil, without blowing up the engine. It was like some sort of childish experiment that he was doing, okay, to see how many tens of thousands of miles he could put on the original oil without blowing up the motor. Okay, but if you don't have money to just go buy a brand new Suburban with cash after you blow your experiment up, don't do that BS. Okay. The reason why I spent up a little bit of extra money on this is because I'm not paying somebody else to change my oil. And again, I don't know how much I'm going to be driving this car, because sometimes in the past, my car ends up parked for months at a time, depending on what the weather's like. You know, right now, I am busy intentionally trying to pull traffic, and that's exactly why I'm letting people like Jason Sullivan know, as of this morning, that yes, I am going to be going to the Home Depot in West Branch later today. You know, have fun with that. Okay, because I am going to go get my cement blocks. But every once in a while, like, I have to kind of go into lockdown for extended periods. So if I get, like, you know, like a year into this oil change and I'm not even close to my 3,000 miles, I'm just going to go ahead and put some new oil on it. But I am not going to be putting probably over 4,000, 4,500 miles on this filter. Okay, so it's going to be a slightly higher performance filter, but don't ever go 10,000 miles without changing your oil. If it says this, it doesn't matter, because it says guaranteed protection. Well, you know, if that's all that ever goes into your vehicle, you know, how easy do you think it's going to be if you lose 5-10 years of your vehicle's lifespan? You think you're going to be able to get some sort of settlement from these people? No. Okay? It doesn't matter. This stuff is going to be probably higher performance. Okay, so you can maybe stretch it a little bit longer. Like if you tend to be like me, go a little bit over sometimes here and there, you might want to spend a little bit more on something like that. But don't ever go 15,000 miles. If you know, I was really reckless because I'm doing all this other stuff and I've been all crazy headed, and I just my resistance to digging out my jack stands out of the garage and everything, because like some of my good jack stands are actually underneath the front patio right now, okay, holding up my front patio. So it's a little sketchy right now. But if it's dark and it smells bad, don't put it off for no 15,000 miles, guys. Okay? This car is a 2006. And if I treat it good, it might need some rebuilding, but I might be able to get this thing to last for a really long time. Okay, out here, if you're in an area where they salt the roads, one of the things that tends to finally take the cars out is like just the body completely starts rusting apart. There goes a Josephine having her issues again. She's having severe issues because she didn't chew her food. And I gave her some tapeworm medicine the other day, and I don't know how often I'm going to have to give that to her, but I'm a little concerned. And I have seen her swallow these rodents before, so I don't know what's so different about this one. My poor Josephine. Like, she's like sticking out her tongue. Her eye was watering last night. Poor Josephine. So I don't know if some hairball stuff will help her or not. Some hairball medicine. But in any case, guys, take good care of your vehicles, you know? Like, I had been telling Hezekiah when we were debating his little expensive truck thing that he wants to get eventually, because he wants to get like one of them $70,000 trucks, or maybe not. Maybe he'll get one slightly used, but it'll probably still be like $40,000. It's probably be an expensive truck, you know? But I was saying, like, okay, if you want to spend money on something like that, and let's say you are in a salt area, spend the extra money on the undercoating so that you're losing your vehicle early, you know, to the salt. Now, see, even this car, look, it's a 2006, and since it's been out on the West Coast, it's got no rust. You see these other cars out in my area, they're all rusted out. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do, but I might, if I don't bring my car to a place like Z-Bar or something like that, what I might do is I might get myself like an air gun and like the DIY undercoating mix, and I might just spray my vehicles myself. But I'm pretty sure, because I've got this car and then my truck. See, I took a video of my truck when we got it idling super good for a little while, but again, it's all messed up again, is why I haven't really posted that video, because I feel like it was like a temporary moment of glee. I think I do need to drain all that gas out of there. I'm not sure what the deal is, but the body's in really great shape. So it's like, it's got some oxidation of the clear coat. If I can keep it from rusting out, I could potentially have this 1996 Ford Ranger 4-cylinder on the road for maybe even like another 25 years. Okay. So spend up a little bit of extra money to take care of your vehicles, and they'll last you a while, and it'll keep the resale value up. And then it's like people want to talk about like being environmentally friendly and things like that. Look, when you're wrecking your vehicles and they're having to go to the junkyards early, that's not good for the environment, because there's a whole lot that goes into making a car. Okay, sure, they can get scrapped, they can get parted out, but when you can just keep your vehicle roadworthy for as long as possible, and actually drive it, that's saving you money. It's doing all sorts of good things. So I've just been babbling way too much today. I'm going to go drink my coffee and then see how I'm feeling. The thistles, I started whacking them down yesterday, but it's just unreal. I'm a little bit embarrassed because I think that the bunny lady thinks that I already have all my stuff set up, and I don't really, because I was initially planning on keeping the bunnies inside for like a week or two, and then it got postponed. And so anyways, I just really got to get this ready to go in case that bunny does get dropped off tomorrow, because I want to be able to have it outside nibbling on the grass during the day. And then this thing, I'll be able to just slide it back just a little bit over there or forward to give it some different grass. But I'm going to have to basically build a much bigger one of these. So I don't think I'm quite ready to get the supplies for that at the Home Depot today. I'm kind of taking it one thing at a time. But this is great. Again, the main issue is that the birds can get out and the raccoon can reach right in, so I got to fix it. But having 34 birds come in all at once, or in like the same week, and all be babies at the same time, I'm clearly not going to be able to fit them in here as they grow up for very long. So it's fortunately I haven't seen any raccoons cruising around my property at all this year, which is bizarre. It's extremely bizarre, but I have to be wary, and I also have to start fencing this area. I've been debating on whether or not I'm going to go ahead and get what I need to do additional electric fencing for this area. Now, when you do electric fencing, now see guys, look, I'm meandering way the heck away from the oil. Okay, but when you have electric fencing, if you have one single blade of grass touch that wire of that strand of electric fencing, it's all shorted out and it don't work at all. So as you can see, I like to keep this quite tall. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting up my short fencing and then putting in some taller posts above that to run the electric fencing across, which is not going to be foolproof against the raccoons, but it's just going to give me a little bit of extra security. Okay, because I'm going to be able to keep my animals up here. This is also like my advertising, but I'm thinking eventually, depending on how much business I'm doing and things like that, because I'm going to have animals of different ages, and some are going to be available for sale and some are not going to be available for sale. So what I might start doing at some point, when I get to the point where I'm like on Facebook Marketplace and I'm advertising and people are coming to buy my animals, okay, what I might do is set this up with different pens back in there under the trees and stuff that have roofs on them and like actual proper housing. I might set it up so that this whole paddock is going to be my animals that I have kind of for sale, so that I'm not having to go wrangle the animals. I can basically pre-wrangle them and make this be their living area while they're in the process of being sold. Okay. And then that way other people like also can see them by the road. Because I've driven past a sign before. Some people are not on the main road. So I do have a benefit that I am like on a road that gets quite a bit of, well, not as much as when I had the whole detour from 65 coming down my road. That was crazy. But I still got quite a bit of traffic. And it's one thing, like I've driven past a sign that says rabbits for sale. And that's it. And it's like, in order to find out more about the rabbits, you have to drive down this podunk little road. You don't know how much they cost. You don't know what kind of rabbits they are. Nothing, you know? And so it just adds friction to the transaction. Whereas if I have a thing over here and I say what kind of rabbits I have for sale and how much they cost, and people can actually see my rabbits or Google that specific type of rabbit, it decreases the friction, because then even if they're not ready to buy it right then at that day, they don't have to stop in. Now they know, okay, a rabbit costs X amount of money, and if I want to buy some the next time I come past here, because a lot of these people are weekend recreators and people with vacation homes and things like that that are still using my road. They're the more dedicated recreators that kind of, they're not using Google Maps, basically. So, I don't know, we'll see. Oh, my Josephine, so much cuteness. But I do have some fencing left. I gave a little bit of a away, because like when I got rid of my birds, I did sell them and get money for them. But before I had to move out of here, but I did do some things, like I gave away maybe even like 2 rolls of this nice fencing, because there was a family that was getting that picked up my waterfowl. There was one lady that bought all the chickens, and someone else bought my waterfowl. But these are not terribly tall, but they'll keep my geese out of the road. So that's basically what I need. It's going to be a while till I can fence the lower paddock area. That is going to be expensive. The outdoor run is going to also be expensive. It all just kind of adds up, but these are kind of the infrastructure costs. I think I'm going to be selling some of my chickens after they get a little bit bigger, because I don't necessarily think I'm going to be selling chickens. I kind of got those for myself for this bizarre, well, it's not bizarre, but this breeding experiment I want to do. Okay, because Brahmas are these like docile big birds, but they're not very good at like defending themselves. If like a raccoon comes, they'll probably just let the raccoon walk right up to them and eat them, some of them. Whereas Welsumers are really skittish. Brahmas tend to they have a higher winter egg laying rate. So that's the reason why I got the Brahmas, is partially to keep me in eggs all winter without having to just like preserve eggs. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. It's, just a little bit over a week. I mean, it might be 2 weeks, depends on when they ship out, but I'm guessing probably what's going to happen, and this does tend to happen sometimes, is they can't always complete orders, the hatcheries. So you'll order, you think you're ordering X amount, and they'll get back to you and say, oh, you know what, sorry, like we actually don't have that many birds, and we can only send you this. And is that okay, or do you want to substitute them? Or, that's something that happens a reasonable amount of time. So I'll be curious to see. They tend to prioritize it sometimes based off of when the person placed the order. So in the past, when I was placing the order kind of late, that might have been why I was the one kind of getting shafted on what was left. Whereas these, I placed the order months ago. So hopefully they will honor my order and give me all the birds I ordered.
because I only have 2 male ducks for breeding coming in and 2 male geese for breeding coming in. And if I only get one of those and a raccoon gets it, then I'm screwed out of that species for a while. So I'm going to have my coffee and see where the day takes me. By the way, if you actually made it this long through this long, meandering, exhaustive video, you got to start your, like after you put some oil in the car and you put the cap, you got to start it and let the filter fill up before you check your oil level. On a car like this, the filter is not that big, but some trucks, you got a big old oil filter on there. And if you don't make sure to fill your oil filter by starting the car up before you check your oil level, you're going to be low on oil. Anyways, I'm not doing an oil changing how-to video, so people need to just look it up themselves and not F it up. But I'm going to let you guys go. Goodbye.